everybody. Welcome to the Friday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. This is the safe space where we set oppression ablaze. And guess what, y'all? It is July. It is burning down season. Well, in the positive way, not in the fucked up Canadian wildfire way that has not only been impacting Canada, but impacting many of us here in the lower 48 with the wildfire smoke that has negatively impacted our air quality. You can't tell no jokes no more about nothing, man. Everything ties back to something fucked up. And they'd be like, Kim, why'd you say that fucked up shit? And I'd be like, I don't know. I don't. It just comes out sometimes. Anyway, everybody, we got a great show in store for you today. Thank you guys so much for being here. Just a quick reminder off the break. You know what I'm saying? We got to send love, solidarity, and support going out to Black Power Media, our BPM comrades, as I'm sure you all know. And as you all know, that BPM was hit with some bullshit YouTube strike for something that did not even air. It doesn't even make any sense. The shit is so arbitrary and yet targeted and intentional at the same time. So, what you need to do, I'm asking you to please go to blackpowermedia.org. You can follow the channel on Facebook. They are still posting content over on Twitch and broadcasting on Twitter as well. So, Black Power Media, while we sit out the rest of this nonsense probation, I believe the channel will be off of this strike next Wednesday. So the Remix Morning Show should return back to these YouTube streets on Wednesday. And we might have some more interesting conversations about seemingly the specific targeting of leftist rhetoric, leftist speech and propaganda, and especially Black leftists, right? So there's that. So support Black Power Media in all the ways that you can. Okay. Please and thank you so much for that. We're going to be mentioning our coming channel fundraiser. It hasn't started yet, but it is going to start next week. So we got some details coming up about that. And plus, of course, I will remind everybody to support in the ways, big and small, that you can to the July Abortion Fund. And we'll give you the details about that coming up here in a bit. But if you're checking us out right now in these goofy ass YouTube streets, please give the video a like and a thumbs up. I so appreciate you making some time to be here. Who we got? What's up, John Kemper? Good to see you in here. Peace, Holly Horn. Good to see you in here, baby. Hold on, y'all know I can't half-ass fucking see and shit. What's up, Camille? What's up, Donnie? Love to see you in here. Peace to Latif. Good to see you in here, babe. Oh, there go. Is that my son? Yes, that is my son, Tyler. Yes. Tyler. Hope you're having a good summer, baby. I hope everybody's having a good summer. Who was that? We have, oh, is it Arlene? Peace, Arlene. Thank you so much for making some time. I appreciate it. So listen, y'all, I wanted to get started with some shit I usually would not even bother talking about. I would not bother talking about it. But the only reason I'm talking about it is because I'm literally annoyed at the amount of oxygen that this person is seemingly taking up. I won't say on my side of the political sphere, so to speak, but people from my side of the political sphere are really paying attention and giving a lot of credence, perhaps at most, to the presidential candidacy of Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who has announced that he is seeking the Democratic primary, presidential primary. Okay. RFK Jr. apparently polls pretty well, polling pretty well amongst would-be Democratic voters, north of 20% in some polls, which is giving establishment Democrats some fits and starts, shall we say? Even though the establishment DNC has already said that ain't gonna be no primary debates. Y'all motherfuckers might as well kill them childish dreams. If you think Joe Biden is getting on stage with anybody to debate anybody, not Donald Trump or whoever the would-be GOP presidential nominee would be, no, Joe Biden and the Democrat as an establishment cannot cannot take such risks. But regardless, RFK seems to be getting a lot of attention. for good or bad, whatever you may think of it. Well, let me tell you what the fuck I think of it. I think that I am quite annoyed with the man generally. And to be honest, because of who he is, whose namesake he is, the lineage, the political blue-bloodedness of which he comes from, me as a member of the lower classes, why the fuck do I care about what some aristocrat presidential adventures are, right? How is he different than Trump? Not an entrepreneur, so to speak, but white, male, wealthy, is friends with people on both sides of the aisle. I'm gonna play this clip from the Lincoln Project, and guys, I'm well aware. I know how problematic, deeply so, the Lincoln Project is, but they did a interesting little hypercut of RFK, and this is clearly a hit piece on RFK Jr. So we're not gonna, I have, even though I'm not a fan of him or the Lincoln Project, I could be very clear about what the Lincoln Project was trying to do here, and that is to mire him in bad publicity. And this week, RFK, along with some other folks, testified in front of a House Judiciary Subcommittee. Hold on, let me pull up the fucking thing, because let me make sure I'm calling this Judiciary Subcommittee by its proper name. This hearing, it was the hearing on the weaponization of the federal government. Oh, the Negro said what? What? Why is RFK Jr. there? What the fuck? Why is he there? If it's about the weaponization of the federal government, it should be nothing but Black and Indigenous and Latinx people. Why is the wealthy white man there? Is the wealthy white man is he a target of the federal government? I see. So anyway, well, let's go ahead and play this hit piece. It is what it is. Let me call the thing what it is. That the Lincoln Project, which what are they? Some moderate, some attempted to be middle of the roaders who want to protect democracy from the likes of Donald Trump and blah blah fucking blah. So anyway, let's check out this little cute hyper clip that the Lincoln Project did on RFK Jr. Take a look.
A few months ago, Mr. Kennedy, you compared COVID public health policies to barbaric murderous tactics of Nazi Germany, saying that Jewish people in Nazi Germany had more freedom than Americans facing COVID health restrictions. In hindsight, Mr. Kennedy, do you reject this absurd and deeply hurtful and harmful comparison, or do you still stand by it?
Congressman, what you are saying is a lie. They're going to have the right to compel unwanted medical interventions on us. The Nazis did that in the camps in World War II. They tested vaccines on gypsies and Jews.
Last week, you floated a baseless conspiracy theory that the coronavirus was bioengineered to target Caucasians and Black people, but to spare Ashkenazi Jews and Chinese people. Mr. Kennedy, your bizarre, unproven claim echoes that same historic slander of labeling Jews and Chinese people as a race, and that Jews, and in this case Chinese people, somehow managed to avoid a deadly illness that targets other groups for death. You do see that, yes or no?
You're misstating.
No.
COVID-19 is targeted to attack Caucasians and Black people. The people who are most immune are Ashkenazi Jews and Chinese.
Saying the man's daddy would be ashamed of him. His uncle would be ashamed of him. Jesus. What's up, Will? What?
Can you turn your camera to the right? Just a little bit, please.
Why you ain't told me this before we went on the air?
I did.
Because now we messing up my clip. When we clip this later, this is all going to be in the middle of it. So thank you. I appreciate that so much.
You know I edit the clips, so I got you.
Allegedly. That's allegedly what happens. Yes. I'm sorry. Was anything?
Why he talk like that too? Why he talk like that, man?
See, I don't know, but I wasn't even gonna remark on it because I don't know why the man talk like that. I don't know if he's smacking, if he's smoking Newports by the carton. I don't know if he has something going on with his voice, so I wasn't going to speculate about that.
My bad. All right.
A couple of things. Okay, first of all, it's very clear that the Lincoln Project has picked up a DNC contract for digital strategy, right? For digital media production, because clearly that was mm, from the Democrats' perspective, especially framing it on Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who is a most unlikable lady. I really do not like Debbie Wasserman Schultz. I'm so glad she is. I don't know what I think about her, but I know I don't really care for her. But my point being, all that was framed to make RFK Jr. look bad. And maybe it didn't need much framing. Maybe it just needed a tiny bit of focusing, right? It's like, oh, well, did he say the things? Did he not say the things? Some of those things could have easily been edited out of context, and that's fine. But I did want to point out a couple of things regarding him testifying in front of this judiciary subcommittee about the weaponization of the federal government. Allegedly, this was a hearing about censorship and the problem of censorship. And, it's just very on brand that people like Donald Trump, white, male, privileged, all that, wealthy, and people like Robert F. Kennedy Jr., white, male, privileged, wealthy, continue to scream about how the system is targeting them. and and I need them specifically to shut the entire fuck up. You want to see who the system is really coming after? You go visit a local jail or a local penitentiary or the suspension room, the in-school suspension room at the high schools when school gets back. And you want to see who the system is targeting? I assure you it's not Robert F. Kennedy Jr., nor is it Donald J. Trump. Okay. All this white male victimization is really getting on my fucking nerves. And the fact that black people or leftists or whoever the fuck would anybody that's not a moderate liberal Democrat, folks that would spend any time really trying to analyze this man's campaign, I need them. I need those people specifically to want better things. Not to say to analyze. Maybe analyze is not the right word I want to say. Support even, or even put the finger on the chin and be like, let's give RFK Jr. a chance. For why? Because he's not Biden. Isn't that how we got Biden? Because Biden's not Trump. I'm tired of picking or having our options only come from the elite class. Why we only got to choose from the upper crust? And I hear y'all. Yes, I know Dr. West is doing something. Well, wake me up when the Green Party gets him on every ballot, or even when the Green Party goes through the formal democratic process within their own party to make sure that Cornell wins their nomination outright, right? But wake me up when they get on all 50 fucking ballots. Until then, we know that Cornell West is not about to be president of the United States, right? Not no time. No, he's not. And I'm very disappointed at all of this RFK entertainment. I don't care if he's polling well, y'all. I mean, what does that even mean? What is he bringing to the table? I understand that even from his own positioning, he sounds like might be a bit of a class traitor. He talks, at least acknowledges, about the prices of groceries and all that shit. But I don't see him opening the Hyannis compound to the unhoused. I don't see him redistributing that Kennedy wealth. He ain't that fucking progressive. he might be a Democrat, but he's not crazy. It's the radical whites or shut the fuck up, man. If he ain't on some radical shit, I'm not here to entertain anything that RFK Jr. has to say. Okay. And I know whatever. I don't even give a fuck how that sounds. But I want to play this for y'all. And it's gonna be a few minutes, okay? So find your joints and light them joints up. Because we smoking right now. So go to that next clip, Will, because this House committee hearing on the weaponization of the federal government, it was long. I watched some of it. Maya Wiley was on it. She was about the most rational person there. They even had someone else who testified as a witness. Mike Wiley testified as a witness. A Breitbart News reporter testified as a witness, and Robert Kennedy Jr. testified as a witness. I said, this is the most fucking unserious shit. I can't believe Maya Wiley even wasted her time with this nonsense. But anyway. So I want us to take a look at a few minutes of what RFK Jr. had to say, because I'm trying to, I guess, be open minded and I'm pretending to be objective here. I'm at least going to listen a little bit to what he had to say. But again, when the upper crust in the shape of a wealthy white man starts talking, I tune out, man, because you're not talking to me. At the end of the day, even if you think you're talking to me, you're really not. You've never walked these shoes. You ain't never lived a life of struggle. I can appreciate him acknowledging that people struggle, and him acknowledging that he at least knows and is aware that poverty exists out here. But the actual Robert Fitzgerald Kennedy, is not about to walk through that door. His son is not even a reasonable facsimile, to the extent that RFK, the senior, was a quality character to even begin with. But we'll get back to that. So I want us to take a look at a few minutes of how this Judiciary Subcommittee opened. And even as it opened, you're kind of witnessing two things. You're witnessing RFK Jr., who what you're going to see, he's there because he feels as though his speech has been shut down, his speech has been quelled. Okay, but here you are with a microphone testifying in front of the federal legislative body. Okay, so. But he is going to be given some privileges at the onset that most witnesses don't get. Okay. And that privilege gets challenged by some of the subcommittee members, Democrats. One of them, I think, was Wasserman Schultz. Another one was a Black woman congressperson whose name I can't remember. But listen to the tiny back and forth, and then you'll hear RFK start whang. Whang. YouTube cut my stream. Whang. And then I could only get national news coverage after that. I'm kidding. Let's take a look at this excerpt from the House Judiciary Subcommittee hearing on the weaponization of the federal government. Let's take a look.
Excuse me, point of order. I know that witnesses usually have 5 minutes. I see 10 minutes on the board. Is it going to be 10 minutes?
We'll give him 5 minutes, but we're pretty lax with this. We'll let him go for
we are?
a little. Yeah.
I've seen you gavel down on quite a number of witnesses.
We've given senators and former Democrat members of Congress and all kinds of folks.
Neither. He's neither.
I'm just saying in past history.
Okay.
But
Let's watch the time for all the witnesses.
And if you want to cut him off and censor him some more, you're welcome to do it.
Oh, that's not my job. That's your job. Why don't you threaten a witness so that they can not want to be a witness?
Mr. Kennedy is recognized for his opening statement. We'll give him 5 minutes, more or less, and then we'll move to the next one. Mr. Kennedy, go right ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, maybe we could put 5 minutes on the clock then, not 10.
Could we put 5 on the clock and we'll start it running?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I want to start. I want to put aside my written statement for a moment and address one of the points that was brought up. I think an important point by the ranking member, that this body ought to be concerning itself with the issues that impact directly the American people. The rising price of groceries, 76% over the past 2 years for basic foodstuff, the war in Ukraine, the inflation issues, the border issues, many other issues that concern us all as a nation. We can't do that without the First Amendment, without debate. When I gave my speech, my announcement speech in Boston 2 months ago, YouTube, I talked about all those issues. I focused on grocery. I focused on the fact that working class people can no longer afford to live in this country. I talked about inflation, all the issues that deeply concern you, and that you've devoted your career to alleviating those issues. 5 minutes into my speech, when I was talking about Paul Revere, YouTube deplatformed me. I didn't talk about vaccines in that speech. I didn't talk about anything that was a verboten subject. I just was talking about my campaign and things, the conversation that we ought to be having with each other as Americans. But I was shut down, and that is why the First Amendment's important. Debate, congenial, respectful debate is the fertilizer, it's the water, it's the sunlight for our democracy. We need to be talking to each other. Now, this is a letter that many of you signed, many of my fellow Democrats. I've spent my life in this party. I've devoted my life to the values of this party. This 102 people signed this. This itself is evidence of the problem that this hearing was convened to address. This is an attempt to censor a censorship hearing. The charges in this, and by the way, censorship is antithetical to our party. It was appalling to my father, to my uncle, to FDR, to Harry Truman, to Thomas Jefferson, as the chairman referred to.
Sir, please, please. Again, I do not feign any objectivity here. Through any lens or filter in which I process what politicians have to say. I'm listening through it through my perspective as a disabled Black woman. And I can only laugh as my comrades at Black Power Media right now are enduring a 1 week suspension for some bullshit strike on YouTube. And I understand this man said he had his whole shit deplatformed, but it's amazing that he gets called to testify in front of a House committee. Are they calling BPM? we must have missed a call. How come they didn't have Kamau and Jared and Kalanji up there testifying in front of the subcommittee about censorship? I think all of us, especially not, and I don't consider, as in, I keep saying this, but I do not consider myself to be an activist or an organizer, but I'm certain that there are plenty activist organizers who themselves have been censored and shut down. Again, from my perspective, in the way that I move in this life, you guys, I can assure you that every single workspace that I have been in the media and broadcasting field, I have been the most radical person there. You know what I'm saying? Even if all of my politics 100% weren't clearly defined, trust you me, I was in there questioning the status quo on a regular basis, okay? And I have been censored by being blacklisted. You feel me? Like, don't talk to me about censorship, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., with a whole stadium in DC named after your daddy. You have a whole Kennedy compound. There's the whole fucking Kennedy Center. Like, I don't feel sorry for you. And I really have not a lot of patience for people on our side of the political sphere who would even defend or wring their hands behind RFK getting shut down. He got platformed by fucking Congress this week. You know what I'm saying? Why? Why are we here? Why is this man taking up so much space? Will, run me the Trump clip, because let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you what the fuck's gonna happen, okay? RFK Jr. is polling well, right? Polling better than Nader ever did. Who else was a third party candidate? Jill Stein, polling way better than any of these Bamas in recent third party presidential candidate history, right? And that's why the Democrats are trying so hard to shut him down, to defame him, to malign his views. And in my opinion, some of them should be maligned. Not all of them. If he's talking about like redistribution and whatnot, then of course I'm with some shit like that. But if he's just talking the same old, the rent is too damn high. I understand that, sir. What you gonna do about it? Besides mention it. Like, thanks for mentioning it. Now we need some action behind it. But I want to play this clip. I believe this is from Fox News. And this was an interview with Donald Trump himself. Donald Trump himself, another Nepo baby, nepotism baby, a Nepo baby, like RFK Jr., right? So Trump, as a Nepo baby, can totally relate to somebody like RFK Jr., another Nepo baby, and another victim of the system. Both Trump and Kennedy Jr. are victims of this malicious system by the Biden DOJ, by the Biden this, the Biden that. I mean, you just cannot treat white men of their stature in this way. What the fuck? Hearings must be held because the white man has been censored. Right. Run that Trump clip for me, Will, please. And thank you.
If he runs, though, as a third-party candidate, what do you think that does in this next election?
I don't know, but he's got great support in the party. Yeah. He's got, in the Democrat Party, he's got 20%. I saw a poll today, 23% of the vote. That's a lot of vote. And so I don't know. Would he run as an independent? He'd get a lot of votes, I can tell you.
Yeah, that's, a lot of people like you and him as a combination, too. I don't think that can happen, but have you ever thought about that? Trump Kennedy looks good on a bumper sticker.
It. I read the same things that you do. And there are a lot of people suggesting it. There's no question about that. No, I've known him over the years. He's a smart guy and well-intentioned. I really believe he's very well-intentioned.
Now, y'all know Donald Trump don't hold his tongue about nobody, for nobody. If he didn't fuck with RFK, he would have called him all kinds of names. But he was very deferential. He's a smart guy. I've known him over the years. I know you have. Y'all motherfuckers rub elbows, shoulders, wee-wees, everything. I'm sorry. That was too much. My bad. That was inappropriate, Kim. I'm sorry. So anyway, so Trump didn't necessarily shy away from the potential of RFK Jr. joining his ticket. And Trump currently does not have a running mate. And you guys would be like, well, surely, Kim, no. There's no way that RFK would run with Donald Trump. Are you sure? Are you sure? Because these 21st century Democrats, they love being Republicans. Holy shit. It is like their favorite thing in the world. And that's all they want to do is reach across the aisle. Let's reach across the aisle because we have more in common than we do differences. Yes, correct, RFK Jr. You and Donald Trump absolutely have more in common than y'all do differences. That is big facts. And I want you guys, well, if you could cue up that article for me. So there was a piece published this week in Popular Information that caught my eye. I said, ooh, now this makes sense, don't it? So this was written by journalist Judd Legume. I never know if I'm pronouncing this man's name right. Is it Legum or Legume? Like the cashew, like a legume. I like legume. That's a nice word. I like the way it sounds phonetically. I'm gonna call him Legume until I know otherwise, until I know better. But anyway, Judd was on his job. Judd posted this on his popular.info page. And it says GOP donors fuel RFK Jr.'s presidential campaign. Go on. He leads off the piece talking about a couple of Republican donors, seemingly regular ass rich white men. Because anyway, one by the name of Mark Dickinson, who used to work for the military company. I don't know. It says that Mark Dixon, who is a Californian, who amassed a fortune by treating aluminum for the aerospace energy and has only donated to Republican candidates more than $450,000 to federal candidates since 2015. Okay, that's Mark Dickinson. And then another Bama by the name of Keith Sheldon. Keith Sheldon, who is a retired car dealership executive from Argyle, Texas, has always donated the individual maximum only to Republican candidates. Where do y'all think we're going with this? From the article, it says, according to Federal Election Commission FEC records, neither Dixon nor Sheldon has ever donated a dime to a Democrat until now. This year, both of them donated for the first time, okay, to a Democrat ever. Both of them donated $6,600, which is the current legal maximum, to RFK Jr., who is a Democratic candidate for president. And there's other interesting donors, people who have already contributed not only directly to RFK's campaign, but to super PACs that have been supporting his campaign. So hold on. The article goes on to say, it says, in addition to the individual contributions, Kennedy has also received $6,600 from the Purple Good Government PAC, which is a committee controlled by David Sachs, who is an investor publicly backing Republican presidential candidate Ron DeSantis. American Values 2024, which is another super PAC supporting RFK's campaign, said that it raised $10.25 million in the first half of the year. And as a super PAC, it is not required to reveal its donors until the end of July, which should be interesting when those FEC records are published. But the group's co-chair indicated that about 50% of the money came from some Republican donors. Now, again, this is a very common practice. It is not unusual for wealthy fucks to donate money to the campaigns of both parties. But we're not talking about those, we're not talking about the Bezoses. I'm just using Bezos as an example, and Bill Gates and all those assholes, because I know they openly donate to both parties. But we're talking about people that have never donated to a Democrat ever. And we're talking about people who usually run Republican candidates the maximum. Why are they giving RFK money? Now, if it's because he is polling well, he's got, his some brand recognition with the name out there, that's understandable. I get that, but surely there has to be some. I mean, we're talking about the GOP here, and not to say that the Democrats are any better. They pretty much run neck and neck, but when it comes to evil, but I feel as though the GOP is decidedly slightly less subtle with their evil intentions. Why are they supporting RFK? I think that's these are interesting things to check out. Hold on, I keep lying to y'all and tell y'all I'm dropping links in the chat. I never drop the links in the chat, but let me drop this in here in case you guys want to check it out yourself, because I found it to be very interesting. Listen, gang, here's the thing. Do we need a third party? Abso-fucking-lutely, like we needed it 50 years ago. Actually, I mean, and we had them when you think about it. You go back into the electoral history of this country, even in the early part of the 20th century, there were multiple parties. At the founding of this country, there were multiple political parties, right? For us to be saddled with this fucking bullshit duopoly is the absolute, it's pretty shit. It's the worst. It's not good at all. But this guy ain't it. Okay, he ain't fucking it. Like if we're gonna do third party this time around for this cycle, oh well, then then let's do Dr. West. You know what I'm saying? Let it be Cornell. Let's do what we can to support Cornell. But I need us to kill this dream of RFK Jr. Taking up any more oxygen out the room, taking up any more space in the conversation. I know, I get it, you guys. Fine. The things that he's bringing up are worthy of conversation. Should he be excluded from the conversation? Maybe he should. Because I'm tired of hearing from the elites, from the upper crust, from the motherfuckers who were born on third and swore they hit a triple. I'm tired of hearing their advice for the rest of us. I'm glad y'all have a grasp of the problem. But why don't you start with your own? Meaning that RFK, if he is about that reshaping America life, nigga, start redistributing them Kennedy assets. and I'm being dead ass serious. Like, you want to be a radical force for change in America? Start with yourself. Like, start digging in your pocket, start digging in that Kennedy trust, and start running everybody some bread. Okay? And I'm really tired of us as a nation keep going back to the fucking well with these brand recognition political household names. How is this different from Game of Thrones? How is House Kennedy different from House Targaryen? How is House Clinton different than House Stark? You feel me? Let's quote Khaleesi here for a second. I'm tired of seeing one family on top of the other. If it's House Frey, House Stark, House Targaryen, House Lannister, crushing everybody beneath it. I want to break the wheel. Okay? We are never going to break the wheel by going back to fucking the Kennedys, to the Clintons, to the Bidens, which comes out of that Clinton Obama tree or whatever. You know what I'm saying? The way that Democrats drool over Liz Cheney. Do y'all motherfuckers not know who her daddy is? Like, come on. I need us to be serious. I need us to be a little bit more discerning and a little bit more thorough with our selection of folks. And I say our, I know we don't have no Democrats here. I know some of us are forced to vote Democrat, and I get that, and that sucks for us. It really does. But y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about, man, because y'all see people or hear people either from the content that you consume or even in your regular everyday life, somebody talking some shit positive about RFK or saying the let's hear him out. No, I don't want to fucking hear him out, man. I'm gonna hear him out if he starts opening up the high end his compound and starts running off them Kennedy assets. Aside from that, shut the entire fuck up. Like, enough of this. Enough. Let all of us collectively stop being so concerned about what the elites have to say. I don't care if he positions himself as not an elite or whatever. There is shit in the fucking capital city of this nation that is named for his family. I don't care what he say. That man cannot relate to you. That man cannot relate to me. Can't. Because he can observe about the price of groceries. That's some shit he personally don't worry about. And even if he is a class traitor, which he is not, which he is not, because if he was, he would be talking about how to dismantle this capitalist system. That's not what RFK Jr. talks about, not to my knowledge, unless y'all know something I don't. Lateef, thank you so much. Lateef has just gifted 5 people with Burn It Down with Kim Brown channel member subscriptions. Thank you so much for that, Lateef. Lateef is single-handedly growing our channel membership. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm just over it, gang. And I'm putting the onus on y'all. I swear to God I am, because guess what? Some of these content creators in these YouTube streets is getting a lot of mileage off talking off some fucking RFK. And I need y'all to just go on and kill that dream. I need y'all to show up in chats and kill that fucking dream. I want to know, why is a 1%er being platformed as the mouthpiece to the two party, a potential third party candidate, an independent candidate? Fuck him. What makes him different than Trump? Nothing. What makes him different than Biden? Nothing. I was talking to somebody about this earlier today, and I was remembering, do we have any Marylanders in here? Marylanders of a certain age. Do you guys remember a lieutenant governor by the name of Kathleen Kennedy Townsend? Y'all remember Kathleen Kennedy Townsend? For a hot second, I thought Kathleen Kennedy Townsend was RFK Jr.'s cousin. No, that is his sister. Let me tell y'all about Kathleen Kennedy Townsend real quick. So Kathleen Kennedy Townsend, daughter of RFK, sister to RFK Jr., was the lieutenant governor under Democrat Governor Paris Glendening in the mid to late 90s here in Maryland. Okay. Paris Glendening had to not be governor no more because of term limits, right? So Kathleen Kennedy Townsend, because Maryland is a big, who's next in line? Oh, Kathleen, I guess it's your turn to be governor. Mm-hmm. It was Kathleen's turn to be governor, except nobody told the voters of Maryland. So Kathleen Kennedy Townsend ends up going up against Robert Ehrlich, who was the Republican nominee for governor. And she lost. And she didn't like little lose. She like big time lost. I think she lost by like 5 points, right? Not a small number there. And gave us, the state of Maryland, our first Republican governor, and I believe at that time over 20 years. I think Spiro Agnew had been the last Republican governor of Maryland before Robert Ehrlich. How did Robert Ehrlich get into office? Because Kathleen Kennedy Townsend was the weakest fucking candidate that they could have ever mustered. She was such a Nimrod. The bitch couldn't put together two fucking sentences. She was terrible. She was a horrible, horrible candidate. But why was she the candidate? Ooh, pick me. I know. She was a candidate because her name was fucking Kennedy. That's it. The mediocre whites traffic heavy on the branding, baby. The brand is strong. The name recognition Kennedy is strong. And I'm seeing too many on the so-called left fall into that shit. Well, what if Robert Kennedy? I don't give a fuck about no fucking Robert Kennedy. When he opens up the Hyannis compound for redistribution, then I'm gonna listen to that nigga. But aside from that, ain't no goddamn way. Who is this? What's up, John Kemper? Up. Lateef got me donating. Thank you to abortion funds. Thank you. Thank you so much for that, John Kemper. Let's go. All access. No, it's called All Options. All Options Abortion Fund. That is our abortion fund this month. Thank you so much for that, John. Thank you. Anyway, thank you, Emily. Oh, thank you. More donations to the abortion fund. Thank you so much, Emily, for that support. Yes, the ladies and the pregnant people of Indiana need this support. I know somebody ran us a super chat earlier and I missed it, so my apologies. I'm gonna scroll back up and shout you out. Damn, I didn't mean to burp in y'all's ear. What's up, James? My bad. I'm just tired. I'm tired of these of white folks, wealthy white folks, privileged white folks getting entertained by the likes of us. And I understand, you should not ignore the people. You should not ignore, like, for example, nobody should have ignored Trump. You shouldn't ignore these folks that are making some waves with the people. I understand, but it is important. Maybe ignore them is not what we should be doing, but we should be immediately discrediting them and explaining to other people why this is not the person that should be listened to. You know what I'm saying? And in our desperation and in our thirst for an independent third-party option, we can't just be fucking picking anybody. You know what I'm saying? We just can't let anybody fucking do this shit. Apparently, that is what American electoral politics are now. Anybody can do the shit. We got Wes Moore in the fucking office. This nigga ain't ran for student council. he ain't even been president of student council. This motherfucker is a governor. I know it's anything goes these days, y'all, but I need us. We need to have some standards. We need to have some discernment. And we need to be vocal, and we need to be okay with telling people to shut the fuck up, seriously. And it's not even about a censorship thing. If you think for a second that RFK has been censored in any meaningful way compared to the political prisoners that are languishing right now in jails, to the political prisoners, include them also, but include me also, too. I'm going to throw myself in there. I'm throwing all of us in there. Like, how many times have marginalized people and voices been quote unquote censored? The way that you censor somebody, at least from my perspective, you never give them a chance to get on the mic in the first place. This nigga's testifying in front of Congress and he censored. Suck my dick. I don't believe you. I don't believe it for a goddamn second. And I'm sorry YouTube snatched this shit, but guess what? He got Kennedy money. Just like Trump formed Truth Social. Nigga, go make your own shit. Leave me the fuck alone. Sorry. I'm just, the whole RFK thing I just find so annoying. So please, this will be my first and last. This is the alpha and the omega things about what the fuck I have to say about Robert Kennedy. Because I hope this little escapade, this little misadventure, whatever the fuck it is, I hope his name falls out of the conversation real goddamn quick. Because the bitch is thin. He is thin on experience. He is thin on creds. He is heavy on privilege. He is heavy on legacy. He is heavy on all the things that I thought that we fucking abhor. And I will give him some credit for his environmental justice work that he did as a lawyer. Great. Go do some more of that. Because the environment is always in need of legal representation, Mr. Kennedy Jr. Why don't you go do that? Why don't you go do that? Instead of trying to play Game of Thrones with House Kennedy and House Trump, rubbing elbows, seeing if they can form alliances so they can take out House Biden. I hate it here. I'm gonna take a break. Let's take a break. Let's take a little pause for the call. Look at this, 7:53. This is outrageous. 7:53. Let's get it. Now, listen, I know the only reason a chunk of y'all's here is because BPM ain't on the air. And to be perfectly honest, I have mixed feelings. Because y'all should be fucking with me anyway, whether or not BPM on or not. But I appreciate y'all being here. Thank y'all so much. And while you're here, I need you to take the lead of some of our most generous and wonderful contributors to our channel. Will, pop up the whip. There you go, Will. We got the abortion fundraiser. If you're new to this channel, ever since the Dobbs decision last June, we have been raising money each and every single month for a different abortion fund across the country. Some of the abortion funds are in abortion restrictive states. Some of them are in states that have very open policies for abortion care, such as we have here in Maryland. We 1 month supported the Baltimore Abortion Fund. Why? Because pregnant folks are coming to abortion friendly states to kind of seek these services a lot. And in abortion unfriendly states like Indiana, the situation is a dire one. So this month, we are supporting the All Options Hoosier Abortion Fund based in Indiana. Again, there are so many hodgepodge and patchwork abortion laws. I cannot remember what the specific ban is in Indiana, but just know that it is impacting women's ability and pregnant people's ability to access quality reproductive health care. Okay. Not everybody who seeks an abortion is seeking one just because they don't want to be a mama. But guess what? If they don't want to be a mama, that is a perfectly fine goddamn reason not to want to have a child to seek an abortion. But there are also pregnant people out here who experience pregnancy complications. And abortion care is how to protect the life of the mother. So the reasons can vary, everybody, but the end result is we want to protect women's lives. We want to protect the lives of pregnant people and girls, not to mention girls get pregnant too. We don't like to talk about that, but girls get pregnant for all kinds of reasons, consensual and non-consensual reasons. But here we go. The All Options Hoosier Abortion Fund based in Indiana. Our channel contributes $50 to these funds, and we ask that you match us $5 to the fund. If you want to donate to the All Options Hoosier Abortion Fund directly, click on the chat box at the top of the chat. Find our link tree. You will also find there a link directly to the All Options Hoosier Abortion Fund. You can donate to them directly. Or you could do what the cool kids have done, Emily and John Kemper, that they have donated money to us via Super Chat and specified. Thank y'all for doing that. Specifying that this money is for the abortion fund. And we will add that to the $50 that we give every month. So thank you all for doing that. Again, this is not a big platform, but we could not just sit here and like do nothing. So the fact that we do a tiny something is good. So thank you, Matthew. Yo, let's go. Let's go. Thank you for that, Matthew. Matthew, thank you for donating to the abortion fund and for the abortion fund in honor of my grandmother, an immigrant here named Helena. But poor long before it was legal. Oh, wow. And had lived with the consequences of its legality. Oh, wow. Never again. Thank you so much for that, Matthew. And I appreciate that insight, man. Y'all of a certain age, do you guys remember it was controversial at the time. I remember Demi Moore was in it. It was an HBO special, and I think it was like a series. It called If These Walls Could Talk, and it was about abortion. And it was about it fictionalized the experiences of these white women, or maybe I think there might have been a sister. It was like different stories, but anyway, it chronicled the stories of women who needed abortion services or tried to get abortion services at a point in time in this country where abortion was not legal. It was really good. I remember seeing that young, and that kind of having like an impact on me. You know what I mean? Whew. We live in wild times, everybody. Wild fucking times. So let me get to my next story. I'm gonna turn y'all loose here. Thank you all so much. Don't forget, what's up? Okay. Don't forget, give the video a like, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, do all the cool shit. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here, by the way, on a Friday night. And it's gorgeous outside. You guys are the best. Thank you all so much. Shout out to my mods, Latif and Quirk. Even though I think the Courtney done chunked up the deuces on us. Courtney said, I see y'all. I see y'all another time. But either, regardless, we still love Courtney 2 pieces. So thank you to Courtney wherever she is. What's up, Silberg? Peace, peace, peace. What's up, Franny Francais? Peace, baby, peace, peace. I'm glad to see y'all in here. And so this next story I have to credit to Renee Johnston. You guys know Renee. Hold on, let me say her name right so y'all know who I'm talking about. Renee, one of the Fire Fam. We love Renee. Renee is a very about it organizer in her own right, based out of NYC. She be doing a thing. We love Renee. So I was scrolling on Twitter. Jesus, the Jeto, the digital Ghetto, and not the fun part of the ghetto. Like, god damn it, the food desert part of the ghetto. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Not the basketball court part of the ghetto, not the fun part of the ghetto, the fucking bad part of the ghetto. That's Twitter. Anyway, but I was on Twitter and I happened to come across Renee's timeline. And she had something up there that I thought was pretty interesting and that I wanted to bring to you all's attention. So, as you guys know, we are in 50 years of hip hop. Did you guys know that? Yeah, you should. 50 years ago, hip hop as a culture was born in the Boogie Down, the Bronx. What was it? 1500 Sedgwick? I'm going to fuck that up. Let me shut up before New York starts knocking at my door and telling me I need to get it right. But it was created in the Bronx, right? And if it wasn't for the Bronx, this rap shit probably wouldn't be going on. So tell me where you from. And hip hop as a culture has come a long way. To the point that I think young people who are consumers and fans of rap music do not know the five pillars of hip hop. You know, it's all rap, hip hop, and rap. What's the difference? What's the difference? It's a fucking difference. Okay, rap is a genre of music. Hip hop is a culture that includes rap, includes graffiti art, that includes breakdancing, that includes rhyming and seeing, that includes DJing, not these fucking iPod playlists, whatever the fuck, that fucking whack shit. I'm talking about what the fuck the ear doctor does. What the ear doctor does is goddamn hip hop. Why do y'all think I be bigging him up all the time? Because I know a real DJ from a fucking whack DJ. The ear doctor is a real goddamn DJ out here, y'all. Ear doctor has great record selection. He can cut, he can scratch, he can blend, and he can host. He can get on that mic. That ain't easy. Not all DJs can talk. Okay. Like some of the Bammers is DJs for a reason because they talk with their hands. They are not quality on that mic. The ear doctor's a full package. The ear doctor is a beautiful representation of hip hop in the form of MCing and DJing. But I digress. So how did I get to Renee? Okay. So what did Renee have on her timeline? Well, let me tell y'all. She had retweeted a clip of New York City Mayor Eric Adams at this unveiling ceremony that was held in New York because the city, hold on, let me pull this up. The city is doing their recognition of 50 years of hip hop as well as should. Rap music and hip hop was created in New York City, no doubt about that. And Eric Adams in his office made the announcement that there would be a concert series through the month of August in New York to celebrate the 50 years of hip hop. Hold on, let me pull that up. It says these events will be called the 5x5 Block Party Series and will begin starting on August 5th through August the 12th. Now, that sounds a little lacking. Like it's 50 years of hip hop and Eric Adams' office gives the shit a whole week. The concert series is a whole week. A whole week. August 5th through the 12th. I'm reading this per this is ABC7 actually. ABC7ny.com has this. I don't have that on the doc, Will. I'm just reading this. So I want to show you guys KRS-One, the teacher, one of rap's greatest MCs of all time. KRS-One, one of the founders of Boogie Down Productions, one of the creators of, in my opinion, one of the best diss records of all time in rap. The bridge is over. Shit. The bridge is over. The bridge is over. Queens is still trying to recover from the fucking bridge is over, man. It's a madness, but I digress. But this is a reason why the clip I'm about to show you is a good reason why you should not idolize celebrities. You should not you should never meet your heroes, because someone will be on some shit that you can rock with and that you agree with at one part in their career. And then when they get to another part of their career, they switch it up. Maybe just a little bit, just a little bit. So I want us to take a look at the announcement about this 5x5 block party series that's lasting a whole week, a whole week, August 5th through the 12th in New York, as that Mayor Eric Adams administration marks 50 years of hip hop as it was born in New York City. So I want you guys to check out KRS-One. I'm not gonna call him Coon RS1. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna let y'all judge for yourselves. Will, let's check that out.
I have the immense pleasure of introducing a legend and a leader, KRS-One. Yes, right.
I'm not going to say that I'm off guard here in that sense. I will say this. Take a look at the organization of New York City right now. How ironic it is that it's hip-hop that's bringing the city together. If we could get one thing out of this, look at the unity of our city, how we're shining right now on behalf of hip-hop. We should do this more often, you guys, because it seems like it takes sometimes a movement like hip-hop to bring us all together, to have different factions of New York City talking to one another. You know, I did a walk out in the Bronx, just looking at one of the locations that we're gonna announce to you today. And out there you saw sanitation, fire, police, highway. And when we were coming up, this was unheard of. Hip-hop as fire chief, hip-hop as police chief, hip-hop as mayor. Come on, Deputy Mayor B-Girl. I mean, this is a literal dream come true, and I'm just proud to be part of this. And we're rocking all mics. We're rocking all microphones. Mayor Eric Adams, y'all.
My man KRS-One, you know, he has been a legend for so many years. Listen, did you drop any beats?
Nothing. I was getting ready to kick a freestyle.
You know, David, you have to, Sheena, you have to hear how he could put a beat together like instant. Come on, can you do a little something for us, brother? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what advertisement we have to talk. What do you want?
Talk about how great I am as a man. Well, you gotta get on the mic.
Let me tell you what it is. I'm off the top. This is what we call real hip hop off the block. I'm telling you right now, because back in the day, there was a mayor called Mayor Koch that didn't know his way. He had us looking. He said war on graffiti, had us running all up and down the whole city. But 20 years later, guess who popped up? Real hip hop. And you know what's up.
You know, and going back in time, I don't know if it was it probably was in the 90s. KRS-One did a beat called Black Cops. Black Cops, they don't even pay you a lot. And when people thought we were back, I don't know if it was the Guardians, the 100 Blacks in Law Enforcement, but we really identified with what he was saying. And we reached out to the brother and said, you know, can we sit down and hear some ideas? And we had a good conversation on where he was bringing that music and that song from, that beat from. And I just watched him over the years. He continued to make the connectivity between the industry and how the real life incidents that our young people are going through. We needed him back then in the 90s, but we need you now more than ever right now to really bridge the gap.
No, the fuck we do not. Not if he's gonna be doing freestyles big enough Eric Adams. KRS, you can keep that shit, baby. And listen, I am offended on behalf of the ghost of Ed Koch, former in New York City Mayor Ed Koch. I know Ed Koch probably was a piece of shit too, but Ed Koch is like, dog, how the fuck you gonna name check me when you standing next to Black Giuliani? Like, you gonna reference me, Ed, when you live through the Giuliani years and you standing next to Black Giuliani? You guys, I had to show y'all that. And listen, I'm with you all. Seriously, I relate to the hurt feelings in the chat right now. Casey, I saw you tweet your broken heart emoji. Lateef, I saw you with your tomatoes. And I would assume those tomatoes are for both KRS-One and Eric Adams. Y'all, this is why representation ain't where the fuck it's at. KRS-One talk about, yo, it's bringing all the different factions together. The sanitation. And bringing the sanitation, the fire, the police. Yo, you ever thought we have a hip-hop fire chief? You ever thought we have a hip-hop police chief? Nigga, is the hip hop police chief still green lighting black people to get killed out here? Is the hip hop police chief under the direction of the hip hop mayor? Are these motherfuckers still terrorizing poor people? Are they still clearing homeless encampments? Are they still treating the immigrants like shit? Are they still harassing regular ass New Yorkers for minding their goddamn business on the train? Like, miss me with all this unity shit, KRS-One. What the fuck are you talking about? How is hip hop bringing together the city when New Yorkers, native New Yorkers, some for generations, are being forced? There's a mass exodus of people who were born and raised and have roots in New York City. They are being forced out because of the violence of gentrification that Eric Adams is helping to hasten along. And this ain't even no quality recognition of the culture. I mean, I'm hoping that Eric Adams' office gets shamed into doing something way more for hip hop than a 1 week long summer concert series. That is fucking whack. But KRS-One, the disappointment as someone who is a tremendous fan of the record Black Cop. And we have seen how timely that record continues to be when we think about the young man beaten to death by those cops in Memphis. When we think about the story that we brought here on Burn It Down with Kim Brown of the 11-year-old in Indianola, Mississippi, who was shot in the chest by who? A black cop who told him to come out with his hands up. The child complied and the child ended up shot. Black cop, black cop, black cop. Stop shooting black people. We all got to drop. You don't even get paid a whole lot. Take your M16, put the pun lock. Take your 4.5 and put the pun lock. Like, that shit still, it resonates. It still jams. And for KRS-One, would you guys call that going outside? Does that qualify as going outside, given the character of who Eric Adams is as a mayor, what he has already done to this city? Here I am. Now I'm New York. now I'm a New Yorker. He done cut the funding to our schools. He didn't give a shit about the COVID. This is who KRS-One wants to rock with. And you guys, the co-optation of hip hop is something that has been going on for a very, very, very long time. As soon as the corporate dollars got involved, the art itself began to take a decline, right? And as we see now, you guys know I'm a big critic of what I would characterize as mainstream rap, and I'm trying to be very specific about that. Rap music that is played on mainstream channels, your Sirius XM, your regular terrestrial radio, whatever passes for video, whatever. And I know the way that people consume music and consume music videos now is way different than it was 25 years ago. And that's completely understandable. But the quality of the art that is mass distributed has taken quite a demise. And trust me, I like to be put on to independent artists, and those that are putting out very, very good quality work. But it's like I don't know how to consume it all the way, because sometimes their music is available on either streaming services or available for purchase, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just shit on YouTube or shit on Instagram. I know, and I'm getting off on a tangent, but my point is, as hip hop gets to be 50, maybe hip hop takes the turn that a lot of people take that they get older. Not all, because there are very much some old radicals out here, some old revolutionaries still in existence. But as people get older, they tend to get a little bit more conservative. They tend, for legitimate and sometimes illegitimate reasons, they tend to want soft life. You know, you get old, you don't want to, or perhaps not even able to suffer and endure in the ways that you were young if you were living without something, right? Poverty, if you were housing insecure, whatever. Like you can figure out a lot more shit poor young than you can poor and old, right? It's harder. So maybe KRS seemingly wants to ingratiate himself in the system, in the overall system. Again, I found it very weird the way that he was shouting out all of New York City's public works as a sign of unity in the city. Is that because all the city workers were told to show up at a park in the Bronx at 3 o'clock, and is that the unity, sir? does that qualify as unity, or does that qualify as motherfuckers at work showing up to where they were told? Like, I was kind of confused by that statement. Some of us, not me, I don't think, but some of us are gonna have their politics get a little bit more conservative, go a little bit more to the center, or God forbid, go to the right. We've seen that happen a lot as well. And I think it's important that the people that grew up with hip hop, excuse me, like myself. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep burping in y'all's ear. That's really rude. We have to understand that she's just not the same no more. You know what I'm saying? Not even on some common I used to love her kind of stuff, you know. And she's not even same letting all these goofies do her. I see cat slamming her and taking it to a sewer. I'm not even talking about on nothing like that. It's just that I saw Big Boy from Outkast on the interview this morning talk about what he thought about present day rap, and he said it's for the kids. Like it is, rap is a youth driven genre, much like rock and roll, much like alternative rock. You know, rock and roll and then its subsequent subgenres are youth. Well, they were youth driven genres. Like I'm not expecting someone on KRS's lyrical level to walk through that door and me even be in a position to find their music and appreciate it, right? It's not for me now. I just go back and listen to the shit that I used to like and try not to listen to the politics of rappers that I used to like, because that list of rappers whose music I used to bump, whose lyrics I can quote back to you right now, that list of rappers who I no longer fuck with continues to get longer. Let's see. Let's do a quick reconciliation, shall we? In no particular order. Kanye West, Jay-Z, Nas, T.I., Killer Mike. I'm talking about these are I just named y'all motherfuckers whose music I know. I know they music. I know their rhymes. I know it. I haven't listened to them motherfuckers in years. Years. The only Kanye song that I And I even skip it when it pops up on my shuffle sometimes. But the one time I let it ride, we major. We major off of late registration. Is that late registration, right? That joint is almost like a Gen X gospel song, man. You motherfuckers better do your job and roll up and watch how we roll up and I can't control it, get hold of it, so nuts. I take a sip of that yak, I wanna fuck. I take a hit of the chronic, it got me stuck. Well, but really what's amazing is how I keep blazing. Towel under the door, I'm smoking to the days and puff, puff the past, the fuck up rotation. Hypnotic for Henny, nah nigga, that's a chaser. Turn nothing to something, a pimpin', that's a savior. Best things are green, a pimpin', get your paper. High off the ground, instead of skyscrapers. Kilo thinking we local, come on homie, we major, we major. That joint is an inspiration. Shit, I can't even appreciate the shit no more because these niggas is goofy. And apparently, KRS-One is now goofy. So I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to kill your dreams. I'm sorry to tell y'all that the OGs and the goats is out here going outside. I'm sorry. I hate to break this to y'all. I hate to break this to y'all. And Eric Adams got KRS-One. He said, "Yo, man, why don't you do a freestyle about having the best man?" I'm gonna let y'all go. Turn y'all loose. Hold on. The people them have ran us a little bit of money. Oh, hold on. Un momento, por favor. There's people texting me and shit. I don't know what's going on here. You motherfuckers better do your job and roll up. Woo! We're not join a beast, everybody. A straight up beast. I used to love that song. I used to really be a big fan of Kanye West, but Kanye, not all of them. Nas, Jigga. I was listening to Brooklyn's Finest last night. Hit ya, back split ya, fuck fist fights and lane scuffles, pillowcase to your face, make the shell muffle, shoot your daughter in the calf muscle, fuck a tussle, nickel plated, sprinkle coke on the floor, make it drug related, most hated, waited. Why y'all punk really? I run up and stunt silly. Scared, so you sent your little mans to come kill me. But on the contrary, I packs the Mac Millie, squeezed off on him, had the paramedics breathing soft on him. Whoa! Jesus! These niggas is cornballs. These niggas is cornballs with bars. Franny Fran say, I love you to pieces, baby girl. Is this for the abortion fund? Look at you guys. Thank you so much for the abortion fund support. This is wonderful. And this is Librarianette. Am I saying that right? Librarianette 77. One of our good fellow Gen Xers. I love you so much. Thank you for your super chat support. He said, I went to school with Scott LaRock. Oh, shit. That's a big deal. DJ Scott LaRock, y'all, used to be down with BDP, Boogie Down Productions, and he got killed. You said, I am floored by KRS-One's flip the switch mode. Yo, isn't that crazy? Stay on fire. And you've been watching. Thank you so much. And you've been watching the show since incensuration. I don't know what that word is. But I appreciate it. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. And I appreciate you knowing DJ Scott LaRock. That's a big deal. And yes, we here everybody. I am with you in your mutual, we are agreed in our mutual disappointment of KRS-One. So that's that. So anyway, gang, that's the show. Will, pop up. You want to come on here real quick? Are we making announcements or what? Or do we want to wait till next week? Will is not leaving the show. Let me just be clear. At least he ain't told me. he might be planning to leave, but he has not mentioned that to I yet.
Not yet, G. Not yet.
Okay, it's just good news. I just want to share good news because we live in a world of fuckery. Will.
What's next week is the last week before the
fundraiser
the month, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it next week.
Okay, we'll do it next week. Next week then. Okay, Wilbert.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Yeah, you guys can congratulate Will. Yeah, and for the super chats and all that, because it's good news. He's just being cautious, and I understand that. I feel you, bruh. Like, yo, I feel you. I'm not going to elaborate, but I be feeling you. So yeah. So anyway, on behalf of Will and Molly, thank you all so much for watching us. Don't forget, go to blackpowermedia.org. Please support the channel. Support the comrades. Follow BPM on Facebook. go follow them on Twitch, follow them on Twitter as well. Become a patron of Black Power Media. And even though BPM got more patrons than me, y'all should still go be a patron of Black Power Media. You can actually find the video that got the channel to strike in the first damn place over there on Patreon. It was part 2 of the Hate Awards. The Hate Awards, by the way, are absolutely hilarious. I listened to part 1 and I laughed. I said, oh my goodness. So part 2 is over there exclusively available on Patreon. So support BPM, everybody, because this is targeted suppression and repression of a certain type of political speech or political or a channel that espouses certain political speech. And they target this little pity pat shit because they know they can't target the actual hard hitting politics because, then it'd be major problems. But regardless. So anyway, thank you all so much. We will see you guys back here on Tuesday for the Tuesday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. Please give the video a like, a thumbs up, subscribe, and you become a patron here as well. Patreon.com/BIDWKB. Did somebody else run us some extra money, some more monies? Is all this for the abortion fund? Oh, Anna, thank you. Oh, she said half for the abortion fund, half for me. Thank you. We appreciate that. Anna Hart, thank you. And shout out to Mama Lorraine. Shout out to Abby. Shout out to the whole Around the Fire Disability Support Chat crew. Y'all should get down with the cool kids to come hang out with us next time, okay? All right, you guys, have a good evening. Have a good rest of your weekend. I see y'all back here on Tuesday. The Remix Morning Show will be back on YouTube Wednesday. So we'll see y'all then. Looking forward to it. See y'all later. Bye-bye. Good night, y'all. Good night. Good night.